Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Whitney Ziegler. I'm the founder and CEO of Big Rocks Organizing. We are a small team based out of Portland, Oregon, and we assist folks through life transitions, including organizing in their home to stay in place, right sizing to prepare for a move, and we assist folks with estate cleanouts if they've lost a loved one. So I'm happy to say that our topic today is going to be bathrooms and laundry rooms. So we'll spend about half our time on each. And we have our team members going to be doing live demos. So we have Christy and Leilani who are going to be doing a demo in Leilani's bathroom. And then we have Maddie and Jess who are going to be doing a demo in Maddie's laundry room. So we hope this will be really interactive and participatory. Please feel free to jump in and ask questions along the way. Um, Team members, am I forgetting any announcements? Okay, then I'm going to turn it over to Christy and Leilani.
Hello, everyone. We're going to get the camera turned around so you can actually see the countertop and what Leilani's going to talk about today.
Hello. So, as Christy said, we're going to start off with the countertop. I am very much if it's out of sight, it's out of mind. So, I actually keep my countertops filled with all the things and the habits that I like to ensure I do. So, I have all my toothpicks out. I'm using a mason jar to keep my toothbrush. It's probably from the Dollar Tree. Very simple. You can also just thrift it. It's a great option. I also have this organizer that I use. Each one has slightly kind of categories. These are like my backup makeups. I limit all my makeup items to this little plastic container drawer sets. I also have reusable cotton pads that I like to use. A little bit more of a sustainable option. I keep those handy when I need them. I also like to keep a little container up here for when for jewelry items, like if I need to take things off before a shower or anything. Keep my glasses and my contacts. And then on the same note of contacts, because I use them, I end up with all these little plastic things, which are great. The eye doctor, you can usually recycle these at. There's also Terra Recycling. I think it's actually TerraCycle, now that I think of it, not recycling. And they have a bunch of different options for recycling programs for various variety of brands, including beauty products, containers, and stuff like that, which is a great option. Like these containers, another great option for these is taking them to places like Ulta. They usually have bins towards the front of the store where you can drop all your recycling items. I like to keep a whole bag filled with all my containers for my beauty items. And I just like toss this and keep this on the side. And then when I'm going there to shop, I'll drop them in the bins as I'm going there. Another few handy items I have on my counter is this little mini Lazy Susan. I keep my everyday makeup, the essentials that I use in here, and it's handy because I can just put them in here and they're all very accessible and I take it off. It's also, my bathroom's an open bathroom, so my toilet's right there. So I like to protect my brushes and my toilet brushes, so I have covers on them because I don't want any of that stuff getting on them. It's a little gross to me personally. I also found this handy dandy thing at Home Goods for my towels. Got tired of having my towels just sitting on my counter. It wasn't drying, and I wanted something that would help with it. There's options like this at Home Goods. There's also options at the Container Store. I love this thing. It was a lifesaver personally. And then another thing, keeping body perfumes and essential oils is very common in bathrooms, but it's not actually good for them. The heat from the shower, if the shower is in the same room, dampens the essential oils that are in there and makes it not as potent. So it's actually better to keep them in a dry and cool spot, not in the same room as your shower if your counter spots in your shower are in the same spots. Next, we're going to move on to my top drawer. This is where I keep all my essentials. We have all my skincare items. We got hair accessories. This is actually a little bag that I use to pop my cotton rounds in so I can throw them in the wash when I need to, which is nice and handy. Back here, kind of a little bit more of my mess. It's not as organized as the front, but it's easily accessible. I also like to use these little round patches, circles, to keep my hair ties, which is great for even like the small items. They'd be good, but I use these more frequently, so I don't like to keep them attached to a ring. And then we have the trays in here. Mine is an all-in-one set. It's already divvied up, but you can also buy customizable ones. You could even DIY it. These are from glasses that I ordered. But I opened it up and I said that would make a great way to DIY and organize a drawer or space. They're very easily customizable and they're nice and large, so they'd be great for that. As a great sustainable way to reuse items and not have to purchase them and spend money on new items if you have that opportunity. And then this is not my own bathroom. I do share it. So this drawer does not look as organized as my other drawers. This is actually my siblings. And so they don't use this drawer as frequently. This is not their main bathroom. This bathroom is like 90% mine, 10% theirs that they use. So they just keep a few essential things. I'm honestly not sure how often they use it. I don't touch it because it's not mine. It's not really my place to touch it. So I let them do what they want with this space. But that's how you do it. Usually evenly divide up, but since it's mostly mine, he has one drawer and I kind of have the rest. But if it's more frequently shared with someone else, you know, maybe more evenly divide the space depending on who has more and what's needed. Next, we have my bottom drawer. This has a lot of my more infrequently used items. I probably use them like 2 to 3 times a week, if that. These are more sort of my, I want to have a spa day kind of items. And so it's my more luxe items. We have a little drawer organizer in here as well to help organize it. This is kind of in the way of it, but it opens up and it has all my face masks in it. So somewhat accessible. No organizing system is too perfect. So we have that as an option. I also like to reuse like cups that people give me. This one was nice and big. And so after my shower cap is done drying, I like to store it down here as well. I keep my makeup brush cleaners and the ones that need to be washed down in this corner. And so this drawer kind of sits here. I probably only access this drawer like once or twice a week, if that. Next is probably my favorite part of my bathroom, is my bottom cabinet. And so I love doing a tower drawer down here. I feel like it's the best way to utilize the space underneath the sink. Otherwise, things get lost and pushed to the back. There's so much potential to have space in here when you have the drawer towers in them. I like to keep my shower items in the top one. We also have backups. I'm a big fan of shopping your stash. So I actually haven't bought in body wash in 2 years, which is how often people like to give me all sorts of the various shower gels, body gels, and bar soaps. And so usually when I'm feeling that itch, I just come to my stash and I look and I kind of daydream about which one I'm going to use next as my way of doing it. It also has a lot of my travel toiletry items in there, so I can always just go straight here when I'm getting ready for a trip. Speaking of trips, this is also where I keep my bags for when I do travel, my makeup bags. I also always keep all my travel go-tos ready to go in here. I used to travel frequently on the weekends a couple years ago, so I always had that just ready to go. Easy to take on the go and not have to think about it because I knew it had all my basic needs in there. This bottom one has a lot more of those travel items, the containers. I have a variety because I never know how long sometimes the length of my travels changes. So sometimes I need bigger items. Sometimes I need smaller items. So I have a variety in here for what I do need. And then I do have this Lazy Susan down here to keep all my cleaning supplies. This is not the main area where cleaning supplies is kept, so I just have the basic essentials for it that I will need for my bathroom. I also have foaming hand soap refills, which is why you don't see a lot of soap container storage backed up here. It's because I just refill my main container that I have up on my counter. A lot of places have that option now where they're having the soap refills, so you don't have to keep buying the bottles. You can just have the one or two of these, and it's not taking up as much space for you. Lastly, we have this metal wire bin. I use heat tools on my hair, and so the best way to store those is on a metal rack, because otherwise, in the plastic ones, it'll melt if it's still a little hot, and so it's best to keep those in a metal organizer. I also have this bag for when I travel that is also good for heat tools. If you only have a few, that's also a great option. And then I keep my travel bag. This is what I bring all my toiletries and cosmetics when I travel.
Thank you so much,
So,
Leilani. And I know that you have prepared a list of the products that you've
yes.
shown us today. We don't get any kind of commission if we recommend products. So,
Yeah.
but we will share those in an email that goes out after today's presentation. And Leilani, you also shared your travel packing list with us that we can send out and share with folks afterwards too. So we're really grateful for both of those resources. Oh, I'm curious, is there anything you'd like to add, Leilani, or are we ready to take questions?
I think we're ready for questions.
Anyone have a question for Leilani, or maybe you have a unique challenge in your bathroom that we didn't cover today?
Oh, I'll ask a question. This is Connie. Um, I live in a apartment complex, and one of the things that we're tasked with is emergency preparedness. So being ready to leave on the spur of the moment, or if we have a medical emergency. So I noticed you have a to-go bag kind of that's got everything you would need in it. Does it also have like money and ID and things like that for emergency, or would you have a separate emergency kit? And the other thing that I didn't notice was feminine products. What do you do with all the feminine products? And as we age, we've got not only storing larger feminine products, but also disposing of them. And a lot of people are tasked with how to do that aesthetically and keep down odors and things like that without taking up a lot of space.
Yeah, so for the travel on the go items, I would probably keep a separate one for the IDs and those kind of personal effects. I would probably have a separate item personally for them. And then for the feminine hygiene, I do have some down here near the bottom of my drawer. I don't have that many. I've also kind of been on the more sustainable kick, and I personally actually have the reusable underwear for it. So I kind of keep it at a minimal. I also always think that the best spot to keep those is the closest like covered spot near the back toilet because you want them accessible. I would instead of like say keeping it down in this one, I would want it next to the toilet so it's a little bit more accessible because usually that's where you kind of need that stuff. I actually maybe someone else has tips for like the smell. I can't say I'm very good at that to be quite honest. That's something I probably still have to figure out as well. I don't know if anyone else has good tips for that.
We had some tips coming in through the chat, and thank you for sharing those ideas, Leilani. Jess mentions that she has a separate go bag and a travel bag ready to go. So two different bags. Jess also mentioned that over the toilet storage is great for excess sanitary products and things that you want close to the toilet if you have a smaller space. And then Jill, I didn't know if you would like to ask your questions or if you want me to read them from the chat.
Well, my sink situation is I could never put all that stuff on my sink. It'd be impossible. I have the soap dispenser and I'm lucky for that. But my biggest problem is my drawers are narrow and deep. I think there are ways to maybe put a drawer on top of a drawer.
Yeah, there are collapsible ones that I have seen where they kind of go in and they kind of like lift up if you're trying to get more space. They kind of have a maneuver. I don't know how that works personally, but I have seen options for those online, which are good if you have limited drawer space. When I was at school, I had barely any space. I was very limited, and so I kind of had things all in like those travel bags, and I would just take those out from underneath the sink as my way. Again, the over the toilet is always a great option if you have the space above your toilet for like extra space to keep those. I've seen people put shelvings against their wall if they're able to, even if they've had kind of more tacky temporary items shelves that you can put on there as a great way to boost your systems, as well as over the door options would also be a great way to add some storage space.
Like a shoe organizer could even be clear, and you would hang it on the back of the door and put small items in it.
There's also like racks that you can also put that they have that can be more and they're adjustable if you don't like the look of the shoe racks.
Oh, well, and then some of us, like myself, have pocket door.
Oh,
So-
yeah.
So, yeah, I'll look for something. You say it lifts, so you actually lift the drawer out of the drawer, the top. Is that what you're saying?
It's not the drawer itself. It's kind of like you have like one of these set organizers that has a set, and then there's like a little maneuver that you can just like adjust it slightly outward if you're trying to like maximize the space of your drawer and not have things all stacked up like on top of one another. I can probably find a link and we can send that out.
Well,
We have
thank
a
you.
resource called The Art of Drawers.
Art
Jill?
of Drawers.
The Art of
Uh-huh.
Drawers. It's a company, and they were with us at the Home and Garden Show. And so that could be a good resource to look into. There's also shower curtains that have pockets built in. So that could be a way to store items, but kind of keep them hidden as well. And Jess mentions that she has an over-the-door towel rack that also has bins at the top. So for people who don't have a pocket door, who have a door, that could be an option as well.
I also just thought they have those little carts sometimes, those like 3-tiered, like ones with wheels. If you have space, like I might be able to fit one over here if I needed more space. You could use that as a way to add storage in your bathroom if you have the space for that.
So I'm
That's
assuming that you're keeping your toilet paper somewhere else.
I just have one on my counter personally, because I
Yeah.
also just like make it easier for guests so that they don't have to dig around for it. So I just keep like the one that's on it and one back here on standby, and then the bathroom that actually has the huge stash is not too far, so I kind of just grab it as I need it from there as well.
I'm
But
gonna,
if you need more space for it, like I could easily store more toilet paper over that metal rack that's down there if I wanted to keep more in my bathroom handy.
good point. I'm going to take us back. We had talked about odors and things. Maybe having a box of baking soda, just kind of in an inconspicuous place. You just kind of get a small box at the grocery store and tear off the top, and it can absorb the odors. I don't know if anybody else has any other things that they would like to recommend.
There's always also those like room scents that you can use as the plug-in if you're like those options. I actually do kind of have some of those over here. They're actually not mine. They're my family's. And this isn't even the right attachment, but a lot of times you can just use that. And I believe they are like different recycling programs as well, like for when you do use these to get rid of the containers, if you'd like to do that option.
Yeah, those are made out of glass and can go curbside.
I react to the chemicals in those scent things, so I use a lot of little pre-made bags of charcoal, and that takes down the odors.
Wonderful. And Gwen shared in the chat that a bowl of Epsom salts is great for absorbing odors too. So it seems like there are a lot of natural solutions, which is great. And Peggy had a question about where to recycle the beauty items. Leilani, could you let us know
Yeah.
again?
So Ulta Beauty is one option. I believe also Sephora has options. There's also TerraCycles. If you look online, they have mailing programs if that's a little bit more accessible for you. And they have it in partnership with a lot of different beauty programs to help you recycle the various options. I even think I believe I saw one for like the Mika where you have the aerosols. They're kind of a little bit harder, and I believe there was a program for those. Even like if you go directly to the brand's website, a lot of them have different recycling programs. Some of them try to encourage the sustainabilities. And so you could also look into those options. And usually some of those even have like point systems where you can get a reward for recycling with them. So it gives that incentive boost with it.
Nice. I'm going to take us back to like the conversation we were having about feminine products and incontinence products. You mentioned like reusable underwear. I think it's
Yeah.
commonly known as period underwear. Like, so we're gonna get really personal today, everybody. Can those also be used for incontinence, or do they have like reusable incontinence underwear? Is anybody aware? I'm just curious.
Kind of funny because for a while there, I don't know if they're still around, there were diapers that had inserts put in them that were cloth diapers. I wonder if there's something incontinent for people.
Were they for adults, Jill? Or are you talking
No, they
about?
were for babies, but I'm wondering maybe we should start a business.
No, we'll do a little research first and see if there's any, anything out there. But I thought, well, if they make period underwear, maybe they also make reusable, washable incontinence underwear too.
Yeah.
We'll check it out and report back. I'm curious, what other questions do folks have about bathrooms?
I think the trickiest part, I just looked at that art of the drawer art or whatever, and it looks like a good website. And I think I'm going to hit them up for my kitchen as well. But under the sink is the trickiest part. And I finally found a cabinet that's really narrow because the pipes are in the way.
Okay.
And so there's a lot of wasted space. I haven't figured out a trick yet to deal with that. What I have been using is I do have some shelving, and I bought some baskets that I kind of use as drawers, but they're kind of almost too deep. Also, my deep drawers are my problem. But that's where I hold my towels and other things. There's no door on it, so it's not concealable. Is that the right word? But it's under the, because you want to keep the cleaning supplies under the sink. And that's the trickiest part, is that under the sink techniques that we can use.
Yeah, really good point. And Gwen had a great question. Where do you keep the toilet plunger? That's also an awkward item to try to store sometimes.
My toilet plunger is kind of over back in this farther corner. So it's a little bit more tucked away near the toilet in that far corner. Also, my toilet cleaner, we're kind of getting into that realm. I keep them in the back corner, kind of not as noticeable, a little hidden. Yeah.
And also dropped, oh, I'm sorry to interrupt, Leilani, just dropped something in the chat, which is a 3-tier drawer organizer that lifts out of the drawer. So thank you, Jess, for putting that in the chat.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, we have a question from Karin in the chat. Karin shares a bathroom with a couple of boys and found toilet cleaning tabs that you put in the back tank of the toilet, and it keeps things fresh. That's a really great solution. Thank you for sharing that, Karin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other questions? We have time for maybe one or two more questions for Leilani. Connie's wondering if there's a local Art of the Drawer company. Christy, do you know? I know you connected with them recently.
I'm not sure, but I'd be happy to ask her and get back to you.
Okay, that sounds great. Connie will report back.
Good.
Any other last minute questions for Leilani or questions, bathroom related questions?
I have a question, maybe for the group or if Leilani, if does anyone have like um a sort of a routine or a process for sort of like sanitizing or replacing or like washing different things like toothbrush, makeup brushes, things like that? How do you handle that?
I would like to say that I wash my brushes once a month, but that's not true.
If you were to
Um,
wash them, how would you
I
do
would
that?
probably try and wash my brushes realistically once a month. I feel like that's probably, I think some people do it more. And I believe once a week.
Mm-hmm.
Christy's saying once a week. I believe toothbrushes are supposed to be replaced like every 3 months or so. I usually try and stay in that realm. Probably like 3 to 5 months is when I try to switch up my toothbrush, along with my toothbrush cover. I switch it out when I do that as well. Trying to think of other things.
If you're wanting to clean your toothbrush in between, you can actually get denture cleaners, the ones where you just drop it in some water and it becomes effervescent. You can put it in there and that will clean it. I know my friend uses that to clean her mouth guard on a regular basis that she uses when she sleeps. So that's an idea if you're wanting to clean it in between, exchanging them out. I also use, I cannot remember the name off the top of my head. I'm so sorry, guys. I will try to see if I can remember it, but I use a brush cleaner. It's something like EcoClean, and it's specifically made for cleaning makeup off of your brushes. I don't like to use just regular soap because it can leave a residue on your makeup brushes. So finding something that specifically says it's for makeup. I know they carry it at Ulta because that's where I got it. And it's very affordable. So I use that and I try to clean them once a week if I can, but sometimes it's 2 weeks or when I think about it because it looks dirty. So do what works best for you.
I think it also depends slightly on the type of brushes you have. Because I know I've heard some people actually just use like stuff like coconut oil if they want to just source something from their pantry to wash it. Some people use stuff like that to just wash it.
And I highly recommend when you wash your brushes, either lay them on their side on a towel, or if you have the ability to hang them with the brush side down, that is most important because if you do them standing up like they're in the container here, that water runs down into where the bristles connect and it can actually weaken the bristles in there and make them fall out faster. So always try to rinse, lay it on the side or brush side down.
There's also little protectors that you can put over the brushes to help it keep its shape and protect it while it's drying, which is a handy thing to have. I actually bought all of this. This is a whole makeup brush cleaning thing, and it lifts out. This bottom has like a rough edge on this container to help wash it. And it came with all these little handy things and the soap to use it, which also I do think was from Ulta.
Nice, great tips. Thank you both. Something that I've done is put my toothbrush in the dishwasher and run it on the sanitize cycle, like in between replacing it. And there's also compostable toothbrushes. I don't know if anyone here has tried those. Those are on my list to try. Okay.
I
And
have.
yeah, so that
There's different brands and you kind of have to kind of play with the different ones. There's the Zero Waste Cartel, and then there's one that they sell at, I think New Seasons, called Fit or Fate. But all the bristles are nylon. Nobody makes a bristle that's compostable. only the handles.
And Jess has a toothbrush with removable heads for replacements called Dr. Tongues. Thank you for that, Jess. And thank you, Jill, for sharing yours too. So no one has found yet, I guess, a toothbrush with natural bristles. So if anybody finds one, let us know. Any other last thoughts or questions about the bathroom? And then we'll transition over to Maddie's laundry room. Okay, I'm not seeing any hands. Thank you so much, Leilani, for giving us a tour of your bathroom. It can be very intimate, personal space. So thank you so much. We really appreciate you. And thank you, Christy, for being our videographer.
Yep, I hope I did good and everybody could see everything.
Great, thank you. And now we'll head over to Maddie's laundry room. We'll go ahead and pin and spotlight Maddie here. Okay, Jean, can you please? Okay, there we go. Thank you. Maddie, please take it away. And everybody, this is Maddie. He is our newest Big Rocks team member, and he's an assistant professional organizer. Thank you, Maddie, for letting us come into your home and your laundry room today.
My pleasure. Let me show you around. So, because we have side-by-side washer and dryer, I have, this is where I sort laundry, and I got this terrific laundry gate that is held onto the metal surface of the washer and dryer by these powerful magnets. And so that prevents socks and things like that from falling over the side. And it even came with this silicone gap filler so that stuff doesn't fall in between the two of them. So this is my area for folding laundry. I have a drying rack up here. I also have some, what do you call these things?
Tip clip.
Clips.
They're like
Clothespin.
tip clips, but
But not
clothespins
I also
technically.
have some clips for lost socks because there's always going to be a lost sock. And that, let's see. Oh, I have two laundry baskets because one will often be traveling the house or it will have clean laundry, and the other one I will want for transferring wet clothes to the dryer back and forth so it doesn't fall on the floor. What's nice about these is that these compact. I mean, they collapse so that they don't take up as much space. Put that up down here. I also have a standing pad down here just to make it more comfy for when I'm sorting laundry here for a long time if I have a lot of loads. Let's see, moving over here, I've got this wall-mounted iron, and I'm particularly proud of my cord management skills. What I do with really long cords is what I call the apple tie, because I saw the people at the Apple store doing it. And you just take let me undo this. Just take a long cord and you double it up until it becomes like a tieable length, like this. And then you tie it in a simple knot, and it keeps everything nice and tidy and organized. That could be. Moving over here, we've got, it's a basement laundry room. So we've got a dehumidifier, which drains into the utility sink, and it actually drains into my watering can so that I don't have to, I just use that water to water my plants, which is great. This I'm also very proud of. I've got this small standing manual thing. I have one of these for every floor. It's a 3-floor house. And so this contains all of the manuals for the basement level, which includes utility room, media room, a laundry room, workshop, and wall storage. Moving on over here, I've got my stain station, which is a bunch of reusable or a bunch of containers that I've repurposed to contain various concoctions of stain removal. So I have alcohol and water. I have water, bleach, and dishwashing fluid. I have bleach and water, 1:16 ratio, bleach and water, 1:1 ratio, so on and so forth. That the internet has told me that I need for cleaning various things. And over here, I've got, I also love this. I recently got this. It's a 50-ounce measuring cup. So with a funnel. So when I'm making any of these, I have all the tools I need. This goes all the way down to 2 fluid ounces up to 50 ounces. And if I need a gallon of anything, I made this in my label maker, so I remembered how many ounces a gallon is. So this makes it easy to make new stain removing potions. Moving over here.
Sorry, Maddie, all of your bottles are labeled, it looks like.
They are
which is
all labeled
awesome.
with my beloved label maker. And actually, my label maker is over here at typing height. I've got my P-Touch here. And so it's always ready for me to label something new, because if you keep a label maker in a drawer, you're probably not going to use it as much. Moving on over here, I've also got this collapsible ironing board that I got at IKEA for $9, and it makes it really easy to iron things here on my on top of my washer and dryer, and then hang it up and put it away when I'm not using it, which is probably 364 days out of the year. This is also a repurposed Apple computer bag that I use just for whatever goes to the dry cleaners, which is usually spare hangers that don't match the rest of my hangers. So I give it back to the dry cleaner, and clothes that need to be dry cleaned. That goes here. And let's see, just regular sink stuff, scrubbers and paper towels and wipes. And oh, I also have my other, this is my stain bucket. So if I want to whiten my whites, I have this bucket that I put some OxiClean in it, and I mix it with water, and then I use this as I put the clothes in, and this I put on top of the clothes to kind of weigh it down evenly so it doesn't float up, so everything is submerged in the solution. And then this is just filled with water to weigh it down in case I have a bunch of stuff, so that it weighs all the clothes or whatever down, so that it's all submerged in the solution for the full 6 hours that they advise. That would go down here. And then here below the sink, well, I've got these two drawers, which are mostly empty because I don't really have stuff to go in there. But underneath on the left side, this is pantry overflow and bathroom overflow, like just extra stuff that we have. And on the other side, we have like chemical stuff. So damp rid and moth traps and silver polish and things like that. And so one of the things, there are 3 opportunities for organization. It's a pretty organized laundry room, but there's 3 opportunities for better organizing, which is finding these shorter items in here that can go into the unused drawer, finding the shorter items in this cabinet that can go into the unused drawer, and then also just tidying up this, my stain station. So I'll start with that. It's best to have the taller items in the back and the shorter items in the front. So I'm just gonna quickly do that. It makes it easier to see what you've got. There we go. It's just a little bit nicer for organizing, and everything, all the labels are facing outwards. So done. All right. Now down here, let's look at what can go in the overflow. So we've got some extra pills that can go up there. And what's nice about moving these up here is that then, oh, right, we have organization patties,
For organizers.
organizers. So that's better than using this crummy cardboard that I've got. I'm going to get rid of this. So let's see, what else do we got here? Let's see. This is a smaller container. Oh, no, okay. I think I'll use another larger container to put extra tissues and stuff. There. Yeah, that's much nicer than this cardboard. And let's see. Biscoff cookies. I love these from Alaskan Airlines. Always gives those to me, and I always ask for more.
Pretty sure we all have a back stock of biscuit cookies.
Let's see. Yeah, this pill jar is too tall. Oh, it's too tall for this drawer anyway, so that won't go there. What else we have? Oh, I really have a lot of these. Oh, during cold season, I always want to have a Kleenex in my pocket. So I've got plenty of these. And also, you don't want to have this hanging around. It's so unpleasant. So let's remove the packaging and put them in here. Oh my gosh, that's so much better already. What do I have in here? That's all the short stuff. Well, actually, the Swiss Miss can go on its side. So
Next to the cookies where they belong.
next to the cookies where they belong. So I think that's all I've got for this drawer, but it's already so much nicer. And then we can move on to the chemically drawer over here. Ah, thank you. So let's see, what do we got in here?
And
Okay.
Maddie, as you're going through this, I'm thinking, okay, you share your home with somebody. What is your strategy for helping other people in your household know how to keep things organized once you set up the system?
Well, labeling helps a lot. Also, being a professional or assistant professional organizer, I'm always finding a better solution and a better home for things. And so my poor husband usually doesn't know where anything is because I keep changing the location, even if it's labeled. So I like to orient him. Hey, here's the new place where we're keeping moth traps, for example.
That being said, I feel like most people could come in here and figure out where to find things. And I'm turning the camera just so you could see. Sometimes we have small homes and our laundry room or linen closet has to double as some other space. So Maddie's got some like small household items in here with his beautiful little labels, and I just think it's magnificent.
I'm very proud of this. Yes. So for all the random things that you don't know where they go, like keys and locks, for example, all these keys and locks, I'm sure they're important. So they go there. Clothes and sewing, zip ties, all kinds of stuff. The one that I'm most proud of is random hardware parts for all the extra things that you get when you buy something that you're like, maybe I'll use these brackets for my bulletin board one day. And so it all goes there. And then if I want it, it's there. Okay, so back to organizing here. I'm going to find items that are short and can fit up here. So I'm putting them in the drawer, and maybe flat items like these scary ant traps. And I don't, oh, for loose items, let's see if I have anything loose that can go here, like magic eraser. Happier in a container than on its own. And there's another magic eraser that's already open. And then let's see. Oh, more sponges. Yes, I'll use this for let's put up. No, won't close. Here's more sponges. Yeah, I guess these things want to be lying flat because this is such a short drawer. It's only that deep. But these are all things that can lie flat. And that's Mr. Clean packaging. I can get rid of that. And these are they're for going down the sink. And why don't I put those in one of these containers? No, it doesn't work very well. Okay, those will remain in here.
Maddie, Jill is asking, where do you put lint? And do you have a place for scissors to cut all the annoying pull threads and tabs?
Let's see, lint goes in the trash can, which is right here. And scissors for anything is in my workshop. Let me show you my workshop. So here's all my tools. And I have 2 scissors here. But you know what? Maybe I should keep. Do I really need 2 scissors there? I'll have the utility scissors there, and I'll have the shorter scissors out here in the laundry room for what you described, for cutting tagged off clothes. I think that's pretty good.
Good call, Jill. Thank you.
Yeah, and we can compost lint too.
You can compost lint? I didn't know that. Okay, I'll start doing that because I am a master composter, if I do say so myself. Except for that part. I'm not going to use that. So I think we're pretty good. Everything else down here is pretty tall and doesn't want to be in the drawer. But other than that, I think we're pretty organized now.
Beautiful.
Yeah, thank you so much. Does anyone have questions for Maddie or questions about your laundry room challenges? Gwen is asking, where do you compost lint? I compost it in my backyard composter. I'd have to double check if it can go curbside. It might depend on where you are at too. Might depend on your garbage hauler. Okay, we've got questions coming in, Maddie. Where do you keep your detergent?
So the detergent, I pretty much own these 2 items, Tide and OxiClean, and so those just go on top of my. Let me move this out of the way. Those just go on top of my washer.
Nice. And Gwen asked about the large containers of laundry soap. So all of those go on top of the washer.
Yeah. There's enough room for, oh, here I am. There's, because I don't use that, I only use those 2 products, I always leave them up there and they don't really get in the way when I'm sorting laundry on top of the washer.
Nice. And it looks like you have some shelves over the washer dryer, or if somebody had room, they could put shelves up there too and put bottles up there if needed.
The drying rack, but you could certainly put shelving up there as well.
Yeah. Jill mentions that she has used garden Velcro tape and it's double-sided and she uses it to tie cords and wrangle cords. Oh, thank you, Jill, for that. And then Jean Harkin comments, amazing organizing and unique ideas. Loves the cord tie-up, the collapsible laundry basket, a file for manuals, and all the space you have.
Thank you so much.
Let's maybe share some ideas for those of us who don't have as much space in our laundry rooms. What are some ideas for tiny laundry areas?
I have a cabinet that's above my washer and dryer, so I have a top load washer. And so we have a cabinet. It just looks just like our kitchen cabinets, but it's above, and we put all of our light bulbs and our soaps and detergents up there. But I just have room in my space for the washer and dryer side by side. That's about it. It's a walk through, pass through from the garage into the main part of the house. And then the back wall, I'm sorry, I totally spaced getting a picture for you guys, but the back wall is flat and there really isn't a lot of space to hang without getting in the way of the walkway. So I have pegs that I got from IKEA that I put on there that you can actually flip them down when you're using them, and when you're not, you can flip them up. And I usually hang like extra coats or grocery bags to remind me to grab them on my way out the door to get to the store. And we were talking about lint ideas, Leilani and I, and we also thought they make these cute little magnetic ones that you can stick to like the side of your dryer to collect your lint in. It's specifically for that, and I thought that was a great idea too.
Wonderful. Christy, we would love it if you could share with us a picture of those hooks you're talking about and maybe a link to the thing that goes on the side of the dryer to hold lint.
Absolutely.
That would be great. Well, we have time for about one more question. Does anyone have a question or a tip to share about organizing a laundry room?
I do. I use a long, I guess it's a curtain rod over my washer because we have windows. I don't have a cupboard. And I use that for hanging clothes up, especially, when you have dish rags and you want them to dry before you put them so they don't get smelly. I throw them on that too to air out before they go into the washer. So this big pole that goes across both the washer and dryer holds both clothes to be dried that you don't put in the dryer and for drying those dishcloths that, as I said, so they don't become smelly.
That's a great idea. Just a tension rod from a hardware store, maybe.
Yeah, you could do that. I have hooks holding it up because I don't know what the weight's going to be with some of those items.
Fair enough. What other questions and ideas do folks have to share about organizing your laundry room? And Maddie, by the way, I love that you have artwork in your laundry room. That seems to make it a more pleasant, cozy space where you want to spend time.
Yeah, it's actually my dad's silk scarves from my dad's quite a dandy, or he's still quite a dandy. And he gave me all these silk scarves that he wasn't using anymore. And I had a bunch of frames that I wasn't using. And I thought, why not frame them and create like a nicer environment for the laundry room? And so that's what I did.
What a beautiful and creative idea and a nice way to honor your dad.
Yeah. He's still alive, by the way.
Well, we can still honor people while they're with us. Hopefully we cherish and honor them while they're here with us.
Yeah.
All right. Any other last questions?
So I'm totally jealous of those of you who have laundry rooms and bathrooms because I have my one closet in my apartment that contains the water heater, and the laundry room is also the bathroom, all of that together. So it's very small. And I went to IKEA and found some, and it was in their bathroom section at the time, just little 6-inch deep shelves. And then I got several of them and they were like cabinet units. And I got several of them and stacked them on top of each other to make a tall, narrow shelf. And man, in little 6-inch space, you can fit a lot of stuff. So I just want to put that out there.
Nice. Thank you so much, Noelle. I'm glad that you found a way to help maximize your small space. That's amazing. And we always advocate for that too, and especially going vertical in spaces. We are near the end of our time today. I want to thank Leilani and Maddie again for taking us into their homes. And Christy and Jess, thank you so much for being our videographers today. I do have some announcements. So for the month of March, our team is having a March Madness promotion. So if you schedule 6 hours of organizing with us, 6 hours with 2 organizers, then you get $100 off. And you just need to schedule that time within the month of March. So that's our March Madness promotion. And then we also have a free right sizing support group. It's once a month. It's the third Tuesday of every month from 12 to 1, and it's here on Zoom. And there is a free right sizing Rockstars workbook, 66-page workbook that comes with joining the group. And it's free to come. So our next one is going to be on Tuesday, March 18th from 12 to 1. Jean from our team she's dropped the link in the chat if you'd like to register and get the free workbook. And it's a non-judgmental supportive space where you can come talk about your right sizing challenges and set goals, and then you can report on your goals to the group the next month. And it's a great place to have some gentle accountability. And then next time for Ask the Organizer, the first Tuesday of each month, it's going to be April 1st, April Fool's Day. We are going to be talking about how to right size and organize your living room and your dining room. So that's next month on April 1st. And also, sorry, one other thing I wanted to mention about the Right Sizing Rockstars group. Every month that you attend, your name gets entered into a raffle. And in December, we're going to do a drawing for one free 3-hour organizing session with 2 of our team members. And that is a $570 value. So another reason why you should come join us. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here today. Team, have I missed anything? All right. Everybody have a wonderful afternoon. Thanks again, everyone, and take care.